This is exactly how I completely transformed my glutes from this to this. And if you want to learn more, keep watching this video. First things first, I need to address the elephant in the room, the jacket. I know it looks like a lot, and I will try to explain myself first before we go into juicy glute secrets that no one knows, or most don't. So I bought this jacket, to be honest, like 3 months ago or something like that, and I still wasn't brave enough to wear it to the public. And today the sun is shining, the weather is getting better, and I felt like at least I'm gonna film a video with it, and it will make me feel a little bit better for not wearing it and wasting money basically on, I don't know why I bought it, to be honest, but maybe I'll wear it in Vegas somewhere. Okay, that's enough. Let's move on into the tips for glutes. First things first, let's start with nutrition. So I used to train fasted for a long time, and I wasn't having the best sessions. I wasn't having the best pumps in the gym. My muscle connection wasn't there. Even my energy used to vary depending, of course, on how much I slept, but something wasn't feeling right. So what I started doing, I actually started eating more carbs before I train, and specifically I make my rice cake. I'm going to include some videos here for you to see how it looks like. So basically it is jasmine rice with some egg whites and some protein with a little bit of toppings, and of course I vary my macros a little bit. So for example, if I'm eating it pre-workout, and I usually train super early in the mornings, like 5 a.m. or something, as soon as I wake up, I need that quick fuel, so I'm not focusing on protein as much because it takes time to digest. And if you are eating a lot of protein before you train, then all of the blood is being shoved in your stomach, in your digestive system, and not in the muscles. So I really limit my protein intake in the mornings because I do train right after I eat. So I'm making sure that I'm getting a lot of carbs in, something from 50 to 60, sometimes 70 grams of carbs, and a little bit of protein, like 15 grams or something. And then when I'm eating post-workout, I'm also eating right away. As soon as I'm done, I'm eating. Although some people say it's okay, you can eat way later, but honestly I found that it is working the best when I eat straight before I train and straight after, because it helps with recovery, with of course fueling the muscles right away. The sooner you can eat, the better. This is what I think, and this is what worked for me. And yeah, so that's pretty simple. If you want the recipe exactly for that cake, I'm leaving my Instagram here in the link below. I'm leaving the link below of that reel that I did the recipe on this specific rice cake. Yeah, if that makes sense. And of course, pre-workout. Honestly, I cannot train without pre-workout. I can, but using pre-workout before I train just made such a big difference in how I perform, how I feel, how much energy I have, and even focus. And I didn't found that using pre-workout before I train would make me get used to it. It always works. I don't get desensitized to caffeine or anything like that. I always feel it the same. And I think it's because I'm being really careful with my caffeine intake during the day. So I don't drink coffee, I don't use energy drinks or anything like that. Pretty much the only time that I get my caffeine is pre-workout. So I found that works. But if you have issues with caffeine and you are over consuming caffeine in general, I think the best strategy would be probably just cut back a little bit on caffeine and then start using pre-workouts and stuff, because the more stimulants you use, probably the more your body will require to sustain your energy. But if you are being mindful, that definitely helps. So for example, when I'm having my rest days, I do not use pre-workout, and I'm saving on caffeine, and then when it's time to train, I'm using my pre-workout with a lot of good stuff in it. I'm actually working with Raw Nutrition. They have an amazing, my favorite one is Savage, but they have a lot of different ones, non-stimulant based, just basically pump products, very caffeinated ones, very strong ones. You can check them out. I won't speak a lot on it, but if you want to use code Laura and save, you can definitely do so. So I'm leaving the links below, but it is what it is for, I mean, that's pretty much it on pre-workouts. Then this is why I'm looking down. I'm having my notes here just so I could remember everything what I wanted to speak about. So the thing that I started also doing consistently, religiously, is mobility work before I train, and also activation. So I kind of have my own routine that is pretty much specific to me, because I am struggling with my upper glute specifically. It doesn't activate as much, but right now, of course, when I'm doing those routines, it really helps, and I feel my upper glute is just growing by the day, by the minute, by the second. So if you will like to try any of those exercises, you can definitely do so. I will include some clips here for what I'm doing, but basically I'm spending 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it is so worth it to actually spend enough time warming up, doing activation, doing mobility, because it makes such a big difference on the way you perform, of course, in the gym, the way you feel. After I started doing those consistently, religiously, as I said, I noticed a big improvement in the way I'm able to connect with the muscle, first of all, and then even my lifts started increasing, the weight started increasing, because now I'm actually using proper muscles without making any, without allowing other muscles to compensate, or just basically using correct technique, correct form. Focus is there, I'm ready to go, I'm warmed up, muscles are nice and full, prepared. So those things matters a lot. And when I was younger, I definitely didn't thought so. I thought just go straight into the bar, do some squats, do some hip thrusts, warm-ups for losers, which turns out it's not the case. So you definitely need to do so and spend enough time there. Thing with training, I also am sticking with the same training program for at least 8 weeks before changing things, and it allows you to actually track progress properly, so I can see if I'm getting stronger in the exercise, if I'm lifting more, if my technique is improving. Because let's just say you are doing, one day you're doing hip thrusts as your first exercise, another day you're doing it the last exercise. So it's clear as day, if you are doing the exercise as your last, you won't be as strong in it, of course, and your weight will decrease, of course, if you are pushing yourself to the limits all the time. So it makes it really difficult to judge your progress, and of course your body needs time to adapt to the specific training order of the exercises themselves. Then of course the load that should be increasing over time. You need to make sure that your strength is improving, your technique is improving. Of course, my muscle connection always goes first. So if you cannot feel the muscles working, there's no point of you increasing the weight, even if you technically can, but then you start using all the body language and it doesn't work. So just be mindful. Focus on technique first, of course, improve your mind muscle connection, and then start increasing the weights. But as I said, if you can't track your progress properly, you're not sticking with the same training program long enough. As I said, at least 8 weeks. With some of my clients, sometimes we do 6 if they get super bored. But honestly, 8 weeks, I would say, is a minimum, and then you can even spend a little bit longer. I'm not saying that you cannot switch from barbell to Smith machine or dumbbells or things like that. It's totally valid, it's normal, it's okay to change those things, but I'm just saying that the entire base of the program should still remain the same, and ideally I would still keep the same Smith machine before moving into the barbell, and vice versa, and I really hope it makes sense. So without me expanding too much on one point, because I have quite a bit of those here, let's move on into another simple thing that I consistently did over years, that really made a big difference is actually hip thrust. And I know I spoke a lot on hip thrust before in my videos. I changed my mind several times, but honestly now looking back and actually gathering all the data and what I did, I'm realizing that hip thrust was one of those exercises that actually made the biggest difference in my glutes. And usually on leg days, I always include hip thrust. It's very rare that I'm not doing those in any kind of form. So usually I do Smith. Right now specifically mostly Smith, but also I love barbell, I love machine. Even dumbbells can work if you cannot access the gym, you're at home or you are in your, I don't know, apartment gym or in vacation, you're on holidays and the gym has only dumbbells, then of course you can use dumbbells for your hip thrust. But this exercise definitely transformed my glutes, and it's not like you need crazy amounts of weights to do it. Of course, it's really impressive to lift, 500 pounds on it and stuff like that, but I believe that you should be using more of a, of course heavy, but on a moderate side load in order to actually feel your glutes, to make them fire, to pump them for good. I really like doing I really like stopping at the top of the movement for 2 to 3, sometimes even 4 seconds. I program the same thing for my clients that are struggling with glutes, and it made such a difference. So time under tension, guys, make sure that you are actually focusing on slowing down your technique, really feeling the muscles working and pumping them, shoving the blood into the muscle, and actually seeing growth. Because if you are loading the bar crazy heavy and you're using shitty technique, you are just throwing weights around, I promise you won't get as good results as you would with a lighter load, but just being intentional and mindful about it. So really be smart with that and definitely try it and do hip thrust consistently, and I promise you, if you are applying the right technique, progressively overloading over time, which can also be changing the machine, adding bands, changing the angle slightly, not only weights, you will see growth, and you will see an amazing growth. So definitely recommend that. And let's move on to another point, which is, let me see. So using resistance bands consistently, and I don't know, some people like to bash them. They say resistance bands doesn't work, it makes your glutes doesn't allow your glutes to grow. I've heard some crazy things like that, and honestly, they will help you. And they are so helpful, and especially if you're struggling with mind muscle connection, I love adding bands on my squats, on my hip thrusts. I even tried on RDLs, and honestly, it works. And I feel like I'm activating muscles a lot better, and I definitely seen a lot more progress when I started using them. And of course I use them during exercise. I use them as for my mobility pre-workout routine, also activation routine. I love doing hip bridges, hip thrusts with it, kickbacks as well. Honestly, a lot of exercises that works, frog pumps as well, those are amazing. Even for my hyperextension, sometimes I add it, and I found it is really beneficial. Also, you can use a longer band to wrap around your hips. So when you are doing RDLs, for example, wrapping a long band around your hips that would be pulling you back, it is really great way to also progressively overload, to connect with the muscle better, to even improve your technique. If you are struggling with RDL specifically, it can be super helpful because it automatically pushes your hips back, and some people struggle with that exercise, especially beginners, and it's quite difficult to learn the movement, because some people start to squat, and it can be really helpful tool that I definitely recommend you to just try. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine, but I'm just sharing what worked for me and all of my clients. So we have tested it, we know, and it definitely does the job. So I was saying that I was struggling with my upper glutes specifically. I have no issues with my lower glutes and feeling them firing and burning, and my upper glutes, I have a lot of struggles with that. So adding those specific exercises that I mentioned in the beginning, mobility work and activating my upper glutes specifically, made a big difference and actually made my glute shape so much more rounded, so much better, basically just complete. Because of course, if you have some weaker part of your glute, either, I don't know, glute max or upper, or glute medius minimus, and you cannot work the muscle properly, because then of course other weaker muscle starts to overcompensate, results won't be as good. So you need to make sure that you are balanced and actually using all of the glutes when you are working, and training all of them, not only focusing on hip thrust, for example. You need all of them. So what I do for my upper glute, mainly, as you said, mobility work and stuff, but also some great exercises that really works is clamshells with a band. I love those. Any kind of hip abduction with a band, lying, seated. What else? Abduction machine, of course, works super well. 45-degree angle, kickbacks a little bit to the side, also works upper glute well. So I really like implementing those, and I definitely saw a lot of changes, especially if I'm doing those exercises in the beginning of my workout, when I'm just activating my upper glute, and then I have no issues for the rest of the workout to feel it working. Because if I'm starting my workouts without properly warming up and actually activating the muscles that are weaker, I never have great workouts. So this is what I'm doing consistently, focusing on the weaker parts and making sure that everything is working as it should. Also, guys, quickly, I really hope I'm not speaking too quickly, or I don't know, not boring you with additional information, because I'm trying to be specific, quick to the point, give you the tips without over speaking about it. So just bear with me. I don't know why I said this, but I will leave this in the video because it's reality. I don't want to make this video too, I don't know, too staged, I guess, you can say it in English. So let me see if I have more points, and of course I do. So stretching daily, it made a big difference, because if you are not stretching, you're not doing any kind of foam rolling, you have tight muscles all the time, then of course you will have struggles. First of all, overcompensation. It's so easy to happen when some muscles are overly tight. Then of course you won't be moving as well. Your moving patterns will change a little bit, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to activate a muscle, to feel the muscle working properly. And then of course, not even talking about recovery, it's just a mess. So of course it's about lifting weights, but it's also about what you do after. So recovery, stretching, mobility, probably 10 times that I said this word. If you can, going for sports massages. I used to go once a week. Right now I need to save money before I leave to America, so I'm not doing that anymore, but I'm trying my best to use massage guns, to go for, do foam rolling myself, and just basically stretch, as I said, stretching. I'm able to do splits right now, which is amazing, and I don't want to lose progress, so I'm doing them daily. This is one thing that I recommended in my couple videos back. So if you want to do splits, you need to practice them consistently daily, because if you miss one day, it's going to be harder for you to get back at the point where you were. So just make sure that you are slowly sitting deeper into the splits, and eventually you will. But in order to do so, do it at least once a day, or even a couple times of the day, whenever you can, maybe before you wake up and then before you go to bed. So just make sure that you are doing those things, because recovery stuff, flexibility, being functional in general matters a lot. And when you are only lifting weights, you become just stiff, heavy, things starting to hurt, muscles are not as tight and not in a good condition. So just think about those things. It's about longevity, it's about long-term health, of course, and muscle. And if you want to be strong, functional, you need to do it for sure. And of course, if you want to build glutes, which this video is about, you definitely need to do it, because as you said, if muscles are too tight, they won't be growing. So you need to release the muscle, stretch it out, and make sure it is growing. There's plenty of room to expand and just grow. So be aware of that. And another point, which is really important, and for some people it will be silly: wear something that makes you feel confident, but at the same time you feel comfy. Because who likes to train when they are not comfy? No one. So I work with Buff Bunny, as you know. I have my discount code Laura10. They have the cutest gyms fits ever, I promise you. I will include some here. The way I feel in them, I have zero words. First of all, they fit amazingly, nothing digs in, nothing slips. I feel like a queen, I feel like I can perform, I feel powerful, and I honestly feel that if you are feeling good, if you like how you look, it is so motivating in the gym to push harder, you know? So really think about investing in a good gym wear set that you absolutely love, and I promise you, your gains will thank you for it. It always worked for me. I always have the worst sessions if I'm not feeling myself in the gym. So now I'm trying to just dress it up, feel cute, and then go to train. So that's really, really important, at least for me, and it truly helped. And I really hope that this video helped you to make some points, get some tips, get inspired to go to the gym and go after it, go after your glute growth goals. We got this, guys. So if this video was helpful and you want more in the future, because I have plenty of tips, please leave the comment below. Tell me, Laura, I want it. Give me more tips, more advice on things, whatever you're interested in, either glutes or something else, let me know. Then if you want to get next level results, right now I'm actually taking one-on-one coaching clients, so I'm leaving the form for you to apply below. Let me know more about yourself, about your struggles, about your past experiences, of course expectations for me as a coach. And I'm really, really confident that I can help you, because we have achieved amazing results with all of my girls and continue to improve every single day. I get to celebrate new wins, which is amazing. And yeah, so if you need help, let me know, contact me. I will email you back as soon as possible. And then follow me on Instagram to check my daily training videos. I upload a lot of stuff there, a lot of tips, a lot of recipes and stuff, so go check that out. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.